What does that do? Yeah, that's pretty good. Good evening, Darrell.
I've been thinking about a lot about you, Ken.
Well, okay, I can feel that. It's coming in from over there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, here it comes.
Oh, nobody's here. What's up?
I don't know. Maybe it's a baseball game or a hockey game or something. I don't know. I don't know
Uh,
why, or maybe nobody wants to talk about the topics, or there's just better things to do, or they're tired of talking with me or arguing or something. I don't know. I'm not that upset about it. But I found something earlier today, and now I saved it somewhere, but I can't find it. It might be in this room over here. Can you see my arrow pointing to that room? Do you see my cursor?
let's see. Let me
Do you
put
have a?
me out of the picture first of all. You're in the upper. Where are you? How come I can't see nothing?
Oh, I don't know. What do you got? A phone or?
Yeah, I got. This is a Galaxy 25 Ultra. It's not
Okay,
connected to a network yet. I'm still
okay.
pretending
Well,
like
if you
I'm
see,
homeless and poor.
okay,
Oh.
but anyhow, so what I can't find is, and I think it's very interesting. um, that the big argument was that the Trump bill, the big bill,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what it was going to do, there was it's like 24 or 17 states that supplement uh, undocumented or unqualified aliens with
Uh-huh.
medical care, even though
Yes.
they're not supposed to, or whatever, they choose to do it.
Uh-huh.
But the federal government is uh, picking that back up. So whatever money they spend on it
Yeah.
before the bill, the federal government would supply 90% of that back to the state to cover it. Federal money. Hey, you did a good job on helping the illegal aliens to some degree. Now, those characteristics were people who were in the emergency room, or people that were had disabilities, or children, and different things that were not, it's not like just getting a checkup or flu shots. I don't know what it was. But in any event, um, so whatever the state spent it on it, the federal government used to provide 90%. And the big, beautiful bill lowered that to 80%. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what the Democrats were squawking about, going from 90 to 80, cutting down the money given to illegal aliens. So
Mm-hmm.
I think now, politics is politics. So if you can go, ha 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 ha, caught you, you spent time with Epstein, naughty, naughty, or if they can catch you putting money in your pocket, or doing something inappropriate, or doing something illegal, or doing
Mm-hmm.
something unpopular. Because
Mm-hmm.
and I think in
The last
American,
one is the big sin.
yeah, well, I think in American politics, my viewpoint is you want to run for a big office like a president or vice president or governor. Hey, watch out. Anything can happen, because that's it. There's no rules, like they say, there's no rules in love or war.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of true. So, and it's from my viewpoint, you can't say it's not fair or they cheated or this or that, because the point is, if you're going to hold that position of a governor or a president, and you're not a librarian, you're a governor or president, you're going to be dealing with a lot of crooks and dishonest people and con guys, con men, and you're going to have to make lots of decisions. And whatever decision or any position you take, likely half of the public disagrees with you, you know, or at least 40%, no matter what you do. Let's say it's the death penalty.
Uh-huh.
At least 40% are going to say, yeah, but my cousin got raped and killed by a stranger. Why the hell did that guy go to jail? And, he should be executed. And someone else is saying that that doesn't do any good and it costs more money to execute than it does to keep him in jail. And actually, he's going to suffer more in jail than if you just kill him. The killing him is like a mercy thing to do. So you're going to get different people. You're going to get, to some degree, a part of the public that doesn't agree with you. And
Right.
that's why a lot of politicians try not to say anything, because they kind of bluff their way through and say nice things like, we should have a better democracy. We have to be concerned for people who need help, things like that, universal general statements that don't really have any impingement. And oh, I just got to say, so one thing. So, Trump's different because he can get nasty. He says, no, I want to kill these people and put those guys in jail and so forth. He's nasty sometimes. But most politicians, I never heard one word from Bernie Sanders or AOC or anybody else about punishing criminals, except some of the people in the what they call the squad. They're kind of like nasty about Israel. Israel should be, they don't deserve to be on the planet or whatever they say. But mostly politicians try to avoid offending people, and they just don't. I don't know. What did Bernie Sanders say? Everybody needs money. Everybody has a right and a privilege to be happy and have a house and a happy marriage and a successful career and be able to win most of the chess games they play. And they have a right to drink all kinds of soup. And they have a right, and they have a right, and they have a right. And, everybody's entitled to everything. But I never heard him say, we have to make sure that drug dealers are arrested and contained and stopped, and that the drug distribution has to stop when it's harmful. And some drugs maybe should be legalized, but not all. And there's consequences for crimes. Never heard him say that. The closest he would come to that, he would say, like, we have to stop guns because guns are bad. So that's about the only thing he wants to attack. Everything else is like, you know, we love it. Everybody loves everybody. So why can't we all just get along and give everybody everything? Oh, he's critical of rich people, like a lot of people on the left are like that. Anybody with $1 billion. Oh, I'm talking too much and I haven't drunken any coffee. I had a friend who was my guru. I don't know what other word to use for it. And he used to say, well, it's just obvious. Anybody that's that rich is a criminal. There's no other way to make that much money. There's something they're doing that's not right or illegal or taking advantage of the foolishness of people or something. Otherwise, they can't, it's obvious. That's, condemnation by location of living in a big mansion with 14 rooms. So a lot of people on progressives take that viewpoint. And it's probably true. It is probably true. Most of the rich people have dirt that they're stepping on people's heads to get up to the higher level, and they're walking all over other people below them. It's probably true. And but I like to be pragmatic. I say like net, net, net. How are people doing? Net, net, net. Which system works the best? Everybody's going to be guilty of doing something wrong. And there's going to be some suffering no matter how you're dealing with it. So, but net, 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 what system works the best? Who gets, in the sense of the greatest good for the greatest number, or the most humane and civilized and successful society, that kind of a thing. You know. So that's it. I think I'm running down. So what do you think about that, the thing with the Medicaid and helping illegal aliens? Oh, that's the other thing. Now, here's a question for you because you can evaluate moral considerations. In effect, there's only, let's say the whatever the number is, 20 countries, 20 states that have extra compassion for undocumented or not legal immigrants who don't have a good status. So they say, "Oh, come on, we got to help them." And part of what they say, if you got to send them to the hospital, otherwise they're going to walk around and they're going to have a disease and they're going to contaminate other people, or they're going to be a burden to society in some other way. So the free health care is a benefit to the whole society because you don't want unhealthy people walking around. But in any event, it's only 20 states. Now, but that's fine. I think that the states should have sovereignty to do what they want. They can, instead of painting white lines on the road, white and yellow, they could go green and blue. They can do what they want. But why should you require the rest of the states to support the decisions of that state? Because federal money comes from all of the states. So why should they be, do what you want to do. It's federally illegal to provide it's very limited services that can be provided to undocumented aliens. Like I said before, emergencies, emergency room, broken wrists, gunshots, or maybe an emergency like a pandemic, so you can get a shot for the COVID-19, or you're disabled. Let's say you're blind, or you just you broken legs or something, or children, and I think that's about it. And that's another thing that the bill was doing, that they were going to say, no, well, if you're going to get that aid, you have to work or do volunteer work. So it's just a change. But in any event, is it morally correct to compel or force the other 30 states in the US to support the moralistic decisions of the other 17 or 20 states that are being, what's the word, very compassionate? What do you think?
You're asking me, is it morally correct?
No, yeah, what's the viewpoint of compelling
Okay,
the entire,
let,
yeah, go ahead. You got
let's
it.
go back to Scientology, right?
Oh, yeah.
Morally, it's correct because it's whatever the group is deciding. If the other 30 states want to execute for whatever reason those people who need help,
Yeah.
then the morality of the situation is dependent on what the group think is.
Right. So,
Now,
but what I'm
do I
saying,
think that's one? Go ahead.
yeah, but I'm just saying, so if 30 states, okay, there we go. 30 states want to have the death penalty, and 20 states don't. There's 50 states. So, and the 20 states that don't want to keep the guy in jail and make sure he gets a college degree and counseling, and it costs 5 times as much. Let's say theoretically, it costs 5 times as much to keep him in jail as it is to execute him. So, do you think it's right that they should compel the federal government, which relies on taxes from all 50 states, to support them in those 20 states for the extra cost of the decision they're making? That's the thing with Medicaid. Medicaid is usually it is funded by the states, not the federal government, except in certain cases. But the federal government compensates those states that have the extra care with federal funds, which comes from all of the taxpayers.
Okay, so if I'm understanding you
Yeah.
correctly, you're
Yeah.
saying that federal funds come from all the taxpayers.
Yeah,
Now, if you divide it up by state, if your state contributes more than it gets back, is
yeah.
that fair?
Um, I think it may or may not be. In other words, it doesn't have to exactly match it, but it depends how extreme
Not
it
even
is.
close. When you talk about California, New York, Texas, not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
No,
And so
they
my
get,
suggestion would be is
yeah,
to, if you have that concern, refrain from doing uh what is it? The deduction.
yeah.
Put your deduction at the highest it possibly is so that the least amount of money goes to the federal government, and then have them come claw it back from you if you owe them,
I think
rather than
you,
depending on a return.
yeah, I think you're correct. I think that's correct. In other words,
And
the other side of the issue is that the same states that have more empathy for helping disadvantaged people and they get compensated by federal funds, but they also contribute way more than the other states. So, you know, that's got to be considered. You know, they gave them the money, now they're trying to get it back. That's another that's an absolutely valid to me, it's an absolutely valid consideration that's got to be evaluated in the decision. You're right. That
and that's been my that is currently what I'm looking at with regard to, okay, I came to the end of my first productive uh contribution to the country, and it hasn't worked out. So I'm going to have to go back into the workforce one way or the other. In the meantime, I'm accumulating debts hand over fist. The system that I set up so that I could get out of debt, every time I get it set up, something happens. So I end up in a hospital, more debt, all this debt. And I'm looking at who I owe this money to and why do I owe it to them? Now, have they rendered me goods and services? For the most part, yes. Is it what I needed in order for me, Daryl, to heal? No. When I bring it to the attention of those who are rendering the care as they understand it, uh, if they disagree with me, I don't have any choice. In other words, I've already kicked in the money that I'm going to kick in until I begin producing capital again. So um, every time I get close to getting out of debt because of family situations, it appears that I'm failing to play the game the way it needs to be played. And in that context, I'm looking at uh, I'm looking at a situation in which I need to prove to someone that I'm valuable enough as a human being, that I have something to offer the quote unquote system to keep me alive. Otherwise, you know, and put it this way, if Zoom wasn't free, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And by free, and that's another phrase that I think we need to get off of. There's zero out of pocket for me because you're paying to produce the show, whatever it is, and using Zoom to transmit it, right? So
well, with Zoom,
you,
it's just to correct that. With Zoom, I pay like I think it's $40 or something. Maybe let's say it's $120
whatever it
a
is,
year, but
yeah,
that's just to have unlimited time.
Right.
For free, you can go on
You
for
get an
40
hour,
minutes.
right?
No, 40 minutes.
40 minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah, right,
Okay.
right.
So now, what if, what if someone was interested in making sure that I was able to contribute at least as much as I was contributing back to the society in exchange for services that I need that are beyond what was contracted for out of my original work compensation package. So, for instance, they put us all on an advantage plan.
Who's
And
they?
for
Who's they? Who's they?
I used to work for Verizon,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And they put all the retirees on a they took the Medicare and they put it on, and I have some kind of a plan from United Healthcare. And even if I was on Medicare, I don't think that I would qualify in New York for Medicaid, which means I would still have to come up with a good 200 something odd dollars a month in order to get a gap plan because Medicare doesn't cover everything. And so what I'm looking at is all the money that's spent, especially during this time of year, in which the Medicare Advantage folks are looking to mm, take another chunk. I think they're up to like 15% of the offered quote unquote medical insurance plans that especially older people get, and then they offer things that the traditional Medicare fails to offer, even with the paying the gap plan. You still don't get what is it? It's either dental and eye care or whatever it is. The system doesn't make sense to me. With the amount
Okay.
of money that's currently being poured into quote unquote making America healthy, it makes zero sense to me. And I don't care where you come from. If you're in the country, what is the sense in having people in the country who are underperforming physically when the capital is there to not only have them perform physically uh, beyond what most people would think, but it would then eventually decrease the healthcare bill and increase uh, the general economy because people have to be fed, they have to be clothed, they have to be housed, and these people would be willing to perform a service in order to gain those kinds of services,
Sure.
i.e., like me.
Well, what are you doing now? What are you doing now to provide products or services for other people?
Right now, I'm in a situation where if I can get 5 hours worth of consciousness in which I can get everything to flow together, be out of sufficient amount of pain, and keep my guts performing properly, um, that's not even working on the psychological stuff. Right now, I'm in pretty sad shape. If it, right now, I need a loan for somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere from immediately 10 to probably just under $80,000 to just straighten out the crap that went on while I was in the hospital over the last 2 years. See, what happens is that since most people don't have a clue how this economy works, and even the people who do have a clue may not be working in your interest to make sure that it operates well for you. So I gave over my finances to someone. This was the first time I went to the hospital. Let's say it was like 3 years ago. They were supposed to be hooking me up with trust and some other things to enable me to then get my education together so that I can then embark on a career of whatever. At one point, I was going to do computer repair over the phone or something to that effect. Or there were a lot of things that intelligent, intelligent wise, I don't even like that phrase, that I could intellectually train myself to do that would be worthwhile to the population. And then I do have a certain gift of, whoa, um, being able to communicate with people and help them see what's in their interest as compared to perhaps what isn't in their interest that they believe is in their interest. So being I guess I'm a socialist. Being a socialist, uh, if folks want to play the big game, the musts, the teals, and all that, they can play that, but leave enough money on the side so that everybody eats and everybody gets a chance to work,
There we go.
whatever that means.
That's everybody. There you go. That's Bernie again. Everybody deserves to be a success. Everybody deserves to,
I didn't say success.
you said
I said
survive.
you get a chance to try. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
In most instances, the reason you came up was the reason you've been on my mind. I was supposed to be sending you some stuff, and I never did it.
That's okay.
Uh, after after we got off, somehow Stokely Carmichael. So Kwame Ture came up, and he was talking about the road to socialism,
Yeah.
and and this is from 1975 in Georgia. And then I watched this documentary on YouTube on the 332nd Air Group, the Tuskegee Airmen.
Hmm.
And then there was a second one on that. I just watched one, which I can't, which I don't believe, but it looked nice, on German women prisoners who were shipped to Louisiana and were guarded by African American troops. Um, there's just a tons of reasons why I think that that's a stretch, but I need to figure, I need to, do the research. Don't throw it out right away. Do the research and see, whether that ever actually happened. Um, so then you come to the second thing. The second thing is if we all have these computers, and the computer's job is the I should say the software job is to keep you occupied and looking at things that you eventually, after like the 97th ad, at least want to try, if not, go ahead and invest the capital to see what it's all about. And so the way that you do that is you find out what the individual's interested in, And then you feed them that interest, perhaps with a little slant. So, for instance, I have a huge challenge with people who say, Google this, Wikipedia that, and then complain that the population's all screwed up. Because my book comes out next week, right? Ken, can you go to Amazon and order my book and like it so that I can get points in it? What's the book about? Socialism for everybody. Well, it's like, right? Am I telling you to go, Ken, go down to the local bookstore, have them order the book, and pick it up from the store? Because
Well,
what I'm getting to, Ken, is what is the basic? The basic is this. I take in some food, some water when I was, and I exercise, learn something so that I can do what? So that I can go to work. Okay. And when I go to work, what happens to the output of that work? So if you're unwilling as a society to give the humans the basics, then all the money you put into curbing the aberrations is foolishness. We spend last time I heard in New York, something like $63,000. Oh, excuse me, a month to house a prisoner on Rikers Island, but you wouldn't spend $5,000 to make sure all the children are fed and educated and live in a house. I'll pay you 1,000. I'll pay your rent in a hotel for $3,000 a month, but I won't get you an $800 apartment. I don't get it, and I've been here for a minute. So my thing is, what happened? This is what it really looks like. Let me see if it'll work. It may not. Can't do it. Hold on a second. I got to put the light on. Dancing in the dark. Where is it? Here it is. Can you get a picture? Ooh, boy, it's rough. Now the beard and the white hair, I didn't even notice the white hair before. That's the lack of vitamin B. And the tired, droopy eyes are coming from, oh, I'm out. I'm the only one here. That's why. Uh-huh. And here we go.
yeah, I
Are you
came
back?
back. I'm back. It was me. I cocked out. I
Scared
don't know
the
why.
crap out of me.
Yes,
I'm
it
trying
just
to
went.
figure out. I'm talking to myself. I'm turning on the light so I can,
I know, but it was
uh,
my computer. I don't know why. Maybe it's not giving me the unlimited range because maybe we were talking and it's only, I don't know, but I'm not going to worry about that now because we're back.
oh,
So,
cancel. This
so,
is
so, so you're saying the society, what I let, last thing you said was, I have to make sure I'm recording this. Uh, the last thing you said was, a society should at least keep you functional so that you can exchange with it. Basically, that's what you were saying and the way I view it. Now you're
yeah. I
gone.
mean, if
Yeah.
you can make so much money off of this brain that I have
No,
by
I
throwing a
can.
couple of, yeah, you
Uh,
personally could
yeah,
make a lot of money off of my brain
yeah,
if A,
you had a need to do that, and B, you would finance the recovery.
Well, that's capitalism. Yeah. You hire people to do things and you pay them enough so that there's something left over at the end that you can put in your pocket.
Yeah. But does that work for the
Well, I run a company and it worked. And
right?
I'm not sure.
Did you depend on the government, whether it be city, state, or federal, in order to make sure that your employees ate?
No, in an indirect fashion, I was supported by the government, which was this. The government provided the roads, they provided the buses
No,
and
no, I'm not talking
trains.
about that stuff. Cancel that. That comes with the territory. I'm talking about
Well, that's
straight
what
up.
that's
You paid people enough so that they could pay a rent on something that they could live in. Gave them enough money so that they could
no, no,
eat.
I did not determine how they were
No,
doing financially.
I'm not saying that you determined
I
what they
didn't check it
did with the
out.
salary that you gave them. However, you gave them sufficient money.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't know. They came to work every day. And I'll tell you something else that was unique. I'm trying to think how it was. Oh, there's guys that wanted to work more than 40 hours.
Right,
And I said, well, then I got to pay you time and a half. I don't want to do that. And they say, well, I don't care. Pay me off the books because I don't want the time and a half. I just want to work more than 40 hours. That's what they were trying to convince me to do.
right.
I don't remember if we actually did that because it wasn't worth the risk of worrying about being caught. So I think we said, no, we can't do that, we'll if we need and that that's what we did. So we didn't do that, but I don't know if they were satisfied with it. I honestly can't even tell you. I don't think I was paying them a minimum wage. I was paying them maybe 10 to 20% more than that or something. I don't remember.
So you
But
were
they were
paying more
happy
than
and
the
they were
minimum wage.
working. Huh?
Wait a minute. You were paying more than the minimum wage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And not a but it was a manual labor job, except for one guy was a supervisor and we paid him more because he was more competent and he got things done and he managed the company and we could do it because we didn't want to do it ourselves, in terms of
It didn't
do
make sense
everything.
because the person was competent, trustworthy,
Yeah.
and what would be the point?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So we depended on him and so forth.
And those workers who wanted to work the additional hours
Yeah.
because A, they like the work, perhaps, were
Nah.
willing to cut a deal with you to even work straight time
Yeah.
in order to, rather than having to go out and get an additional job at something that they didn't like, but they
Yeah.
needed the capital.
Well, they wanted the capital. I don't know. I don't know if they
Right.
needed it to support people or they wanted to buy a boat. I don't know. I didn't even ask them. I was prejudiced in one way at when I was running it was me and a partner, but I had
Uh-huh.
a prejudice. I had a prejudice. And the prejudice was that people were coming in to get a job. If they were single, I was more likely to hire the guy who had a family.
Uh-huh.
So that was a prejudice. In other words, I have two guys equal competence and stuff, and one guy's young and he's single, and the other guy's got a family and a wife and two kids. I said, well, I'll give it to that guy because I supported that. I figure the guy with the family is contributing more to the society, and the young guy, he can sleep under the bridge for a night or two, whatever. He'll get another job. He can go around and keep looking. But that was a prejudice. That's about the only prejudice I
I'm
have.
unclear as to whether that in the
It's my personal morality. It's arbitrary. I can't defend it. It's just an arbitrary consideration.
yes, and what I'm saying is I'm unclear as to whether that rises to any kind of a legal.
No, 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 no.
Definitely, it definitely morally, it's correct.
Well, it's my morality. It's something like you grow up
Why are
with.
you
Never,
why are you resisting what I'm saying?
well, I'm just saying it because people have different moralities, and that's a personal reality. I'm not defending the morality. You may agree with it, but
Actually, they have different ethics.
yeah, well,
Remember your
ethics.
Scientology.
I know you say ethics.
The
Ethics.
morality, the morality of the situation is that A, you're already, by paying more than the minimum wage, were already, unless there was some kind of a
No, 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 no. Paying more than the minimum wage gets you better workers. They're more, first of all, they don't want to get fired, so they don't fuck around, and they tell their friends to come in. We never solicited people. It was
it
all
was just a
Latino,
flow because everybody knew that they were going to get.
get more money and
Yeah, and the work was reasonable.
reasonable.
You know,
Yeah,
it wasn't a slave situation with you can't go to the bathroom and no water breaks and whatever,
right. No, it
whatever.
wasn't like that. It wasn't big enough for that to be oppressive. But in any event, um, why was it getting around to that? Though, so the thing is. I call that. So I had other people doing something, and the result of their labor it was excess to their pay. Their production was more than it cost me to pay them to do the production. And it has to be more than the cost of the employee, I mean, and the overhead and the taxes and the insurance and the transport and everything else. So, the labor if a guy does something he's producing something that's worth $5, uh, I'm going to sell it for 10 or 15, but I got to cover all these other costs. And that's capitalism. It's,
Understood.
making that
And
work.
I would suggest that if you had a $5 product and you were selling it less in today's market, if you were
Yeah.
selling it for less than $40, you probably have a problem.
Yeah, well, we certainly had problems. So, it is, but I mean, it's just a territory. It's sort of like if you go to, I forget the name of the city in Spain where they have the running of the bulls.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what they do. They run away. They
Pamplona?
run away, but there they go. They're
Is
crazy,
it
but that's what they
Pamplona?
do. Yeah, Pamplona. So that's the game they're playing there. That's what they do. Or you go to Haiti, it's lots and lots of voodoo. Or you go to Argentina, there's probably a lot of Nazis living there.
Actually, it's lots and lots of gold and
There's different things in different countries, different neighborhoods have different things. In
I was
Latino neighborhoods, you have guys walking around with little carts selling ice cream or ices.
uh-huh.
You don't have that necessarily in Manhattan. You have guys selling
Yeah,
hot
you
dogs.
do.
You got hot
No,
dogs.
no, 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 no. You to the boroughs, baby. What they do is they take those little ice shaving things
Yeah.
and they drop most times it's middle aged to elderly, not elderly, let's say 60, 70, 70
Yeah.
cap. So you're talking about from 40 to 60, right?
Yeah, they put it,
They
they bring
drop
them
that
out and
sucker. They got the truck and you get
they bring them around, they
throw them
leave
up
them there.
and they leave them there all day long.
Yeah, I know. And what we have here in more upscale or suburban
Uh-huh.
type territories, we still have Latinos selling fresh fruit. They cut it up and put it in a cup.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Papaya, pineapple.
Out of the back of a truck or
No, 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 no. They just somebody sets them up
on the side of the road or something.
just in a corner
Oh, okay.
somewhere. And sometimes they're selling fruit, but usually it's that thing and it's healthy. So,
Uh-huh.
the West Side is where I'm living, it's like healthy is important. So it's not a hot dog, it's not ice cream, it's fresh fruit. It's a service. So it's a positive service that's in line with the contemporary
Neighborhood that you're
standard.
living
It's
in.
the standard of, well,
Hmm.
don't eat junk, eat good food. So anyhow, it's different games in different societies.
Right.
So
The
and
idea
here it's
is
capitalists, capitalism, businesses.
no.
In China, it's the same thing. In China, that you couldn't find two buildings. If two buildings were at least 4 feet apart, somebody would start a business in between them. They were selling sunglasses or maps or something. So everybody was there trying to make a buck, and in different varieties of what they were doing. They weren't necessarily all working for an employer. They were hustling,
Yeah, see,
and
that's the difference
everywhere.
between
Well, that was where I was in China, and maybe not all of China, but I saw that. And
what year?
2014 and 20, I was just over there recently, like 2024. So that's that, in certain
Do you
cities,
see
you
any
see,
difference in the 2014 and 2024?
no, just
Okay.
more developed. They're on
Mhm.
a master plan to be modern, modern, modern. More electric cars, more gorgeous buildings, more very aesthetic category things. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, I wasn't doing anything social. Like, I mean, I wasn't doing any investigating. I was just walking around,
Did you
going to,
see their electric car for the
yeah,
one for
yeah, yeah, yeah,
3,000?
yeah, yeah. I ran, that's everybody. When you wanted to travel somewhere, you don't take the bus. You call
Uh-huh.
a cab, you call a cab. And for
Uh-huh.
like four to $5 or $3 to $5 American, you get from here
Uh-huh.
to there. You go from A to B, like 5 miles. So you don't bother taking a bus and switching bus and going here and there and not knowing where you're going because you can do it in English and they'll take you where you want to go and it's $3, $5. And the interesting thing in their system was when you set it up on your phone, when the guy picks you up, he checks, he says, "You want to go here, right?" It sort of says that.
Right.
And you say yes, they say okay, and then they deduct the money. So when you get there, that's it. You just get out, you
Uh-huh.
know. So, but it was very effective. And the guys, when you start, you say where you are, then you say where you want to go on the phone, and then it comes back with 7 bids. Guys, I can get there in 2 minutes. I'll get there in 10 minutes. I have this kind of a car with air conditioning, which, and it's different prices. So you pick whatever you want. My friends,
That's
he'd always
interesting.
pick the fancier cars. But so it was a good system. So that's a game they're playing. Everybody's driving those cabs. They're all over the place. Electric. They're all electric.
What what what
And
what city were you in?
Shanghai,
Uh-huh. Oh, that's okay.
very modern city. It's very like, major development.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. It's good. It was wonderful. I liked it. I was lucky. I was staying with a friend, so I didn't cost me anything for where I'm staying. And but it's good. And me and my wife went there in 2014, and we traveled on our own dollar, and it was good. There's plenty of cheap places and everything. I don't know about in
That's why I
Shanghai.
asked you about what it is last year because I would think that the dynamic had changed
What, going up or down?
going up.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's more millionaires, and I don't know. There was lots of high end stuff, and I don't like
Mm-hmm.
high end stuff. I don't go for that. But my friend did, so I ran into a lot of high end people, and a bunch of them were, generally speaking, the best term is expats. They come from other countries, and they like it because they can run a business there. where they would have more trouble here or in their country, which was there's a lot of Brit like Canadians and
Hmm.
Australians and British, and they could start things and have a company and do things and open up a barber shop or do some whatever they wanted to get done, and they could do it, and they own property too. So it's a ball. That was a lot of fun. Oh, I want to go back. I was more involved in kind of, let's say, adventuresome things there than I am here. Here, I'm just hanging around with a bunch of people my age, and then we go to things. But I'm not involved in any. I'm not involved with any groups or businesses right now. So it's kind of just with people and who are on their way to the other side.
Hmm.
Most of the people are my age and they're going. So some of them go, bye bye. Hope to see you on the other side, you know, and that's what happens. And but that's all personal stuff. But when you come back to it, I'm just saying it is what it is. Now, I'm not going to make a joke and say it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's what it is here. Sweden's a little different. France is different. Saudi Arabia is different. Germany's different. Nigeria is different. Canada's a little bit different. Venezuela, Colombia, Bogota, all different. There's different games going on, different situations. You know, and what you want is a certain viewpoint, that but other people have different viewpoints. So you know that there are people that are, let's say, I'm sure you could find people who are more socialist than you are, you know, that would want more social intervention by a uniform central government than you would. And there's certainly people who want less, and they're coming, it's all yes and no and this way and that. There should be enough tolerance to uh, accept or get along with diversity to some degree. You don't have to agree. You don't have to make friends with cannibalistic vampires. I mean, that's going over the edge. So you say the cannibalistic vampires are not allowed to live here, and if you catch one, kill them or put them in jail. And you could say that, you don't have to go to extremes. I think the modern term is barriers or barrier, limits. So you go as far as works. You don't have to accept everybody and tolerate everybody, but you shouldn't reject everybody and find everybody. And that's the thing I think is very destructive when people say this. I hear it's a lot from certain people. People are stupid. Everybody is an idiot. Look at this country. It's full of idiots. They don't know anything. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement because they know what they've chosen to connect to. They know all about baseball games and how many batting points, how many strikeouts, what this guy went from that team to the other team, who's ahead, and it's all the numbers, and they know everything about the sport, or basketball, or football, or stamps, or motorboats, or music. They're completely into that. They don't have to know about political systems or local politics or national politics. I think requiring or anticipating that they will know that is it's not effective. It doesn't work because they aren't. They don't want to be. Like for instance, or do you follow opera?
Not really.
Okay, I want you to look up and listen to every opera that was written by
Puccini.
Puccini. Yeah, that's the popular one. That's easy. But everyone
He's
that was
dead.
written by, yeah, You got to listen to all of them, and I want you to memorize the lyrics. And I want you to tell me the different categories of opera and what's the most important instruments and who's the best recordings. Who makes the best recordings, you know? I have a friend who was on Billboard as a magazine. He was an editor on Billboard, and he was
Uh-huh.
totally wrapped up in music. And he says, you know, the best singer. He tells me the best singer is I think it was Ethel Merman.
Really?
I think that's who he said, or maybe I'm wrong. Ella Fitzgerald, maybe that's it. And I
There's a
don't
lot of
think
difference between Ethel Merman and Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella Fitzgerald. She's a jazz singer, right? She's a
Oh,
vocalist.
okay. Ethel Merman is Broadway,
Okay,
right?
right. So this
Ethel
is yeah.
Merman could hit.
Okay, right, right. Okay, so but he's thinks I don't think so. But you know, so we have, but he knows all of this data, and then
Right. Okay.
that's what he does. So he does other things, but different people do different things. And
So
cooking.
he thinks Ella Fitzgerald is the greatest vocalist there was.
Did I get it right? Ella Fitzgerald? Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, she's okay, but I love Whitney Houston. You know, everybody does, I think. But I've seen other vocalists, females that are as good or better. You know, not quite as good as Whitney Houston because she had like five things going for her. You know, gorgeous looks, skinny and attractive and fun and pleasant, lovable.
Until love and the drugs.
And then she went down. Yeah, I think that's mostly because of the guy she married, but I don't know. I wasn't there. But
It may
so
be a father thing, you know?
yeah, but anyhow, I'm just saying
And
it's
yet she
like
had two excellent females to
who did
model at. Whitney Houston
she had two excellent females. Oh, you mean her aunts?
and her
Who?
mother.
Oh, her mother was a performer too.
Sissy Houston and Dionne Warwick.
I know Dionne Warwick. I didn't know her mother was a
Sissy
performer.
Houston was hot.
Oh yeah. So anyhow, you know, so she did good. But anyhow, I'm just saying he's into music. So, and oh,
And
look at
he's
all the
making
guys
money
we
at it.
normally have in these meetings, like Alex,
Yeah.
Jim, Thomas, Morgan.
How's
Most of the
Jim doing,
guys,
by the way?
Jim, I think he's got a lot of physical problems that he has to handle, personal problems. You know, I know he's talked about it a little bit, but in any event, these
I'll have to
guys
try and
are,
reach out once I get through mine.
yeah. Well, you can reach out. You don't have to wait, but he never answers the phone. So, but you can
No,
send it.
nah, I'll contact him on Facebook or something,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is what. Go ahead. I apologize. I
So
didn't-
those guys are totally wrapped up, not in the military, they're wrapped up in World War II.
Right,
And sometimes, like a very high Theodore Cook, he's wrapped up in Japan, World War II.
right, right.
So, you know, and they're wrapped up in. And you say, like, what about Gaza? And, you know, maybe they'll have a comment about it, but it's secondary to Japan. And Japan, believe me, Japan is something to tie your, you know, there's enough to go about going on with Japan. It's very unusual. It's very strange what's happening in Japan and the culture they have and everything. It's very
They
strange. And
just did a.
what they did
They
to
just did a.
China.
It just. Oh, please. They just did a excuse me, a BBC special on anime and how love of anime is boosting the Chinese economy. Uh, both the youth and the what do you call it? Who came after the baby boom? Gen X?
Whatever, XYZ, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, let's go from 45 down.
Yeah.
They're
You
spending
know, no,
something
I
like
just
an
they just saw with the anime with their spending time with anime girlfriends.
hmm
They pay for it. Then and they talk and whatever, like AI type things. And sometimes they even have like a marriage. And then they sometimes they rent families because they're living so isolated
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have a family, so they have a pretend family that they can use for certain, oh, I went to, for Thanksgiving or something. But the society is turning digital, converting
Right.
from real world to art. But there's a lot of Americans here who most of their sexual activity is based on a sexual, I mean, excuse me, digital reality, you know, pornography on the internet. So, which again is like digitization of the experience of life. But I mean, to a degree, we're watching cooking shows, or we watch what do you call it, like a travel show.
Yeah.
There's a guy you may have seen, Stevens is his name, Rick
Rick Steve.
Stevens, and and he goes here and there, and you see he's a little goofy, but you see, and then say, well, I don't think I
Did
want
you
to
see
go.
his piece on fascism?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. That was one of the best things he ever did. That was a good piece of work, you know. And but he's not that affable, he's not that likable. He's kind of like he's
Rick
also see
Steve?
he's
Ah, come
okay.
on.
He's okay, but he's
He's from
really
Oregon.
piece.
What do you want?
He really pushes the Catholic Church, or the church. He's always going to say, now this cathedral. He's always going to the cathedrals, in the city. And look at this cathedral. Look at these
Because
mosaics.
that's what they were all. That's because that's what's in the town.
No, I know he says that, but when you travel around, you go to certain cities, like
Ow.
there's lots of cathedrals, but certain ones
Uh-huh.
it doesn't matter anymore. It's not that significant in Sweden or Norway. But in any event, I'm just saying that people, it's an activity that's going on. I just saw a girl who was talking about a country, I think it's called Botswana.
Yep.
It's landlocked,
Yep.
and it's north of South Africa.
Yep.
Or maybe she was in South Africa or Botswana or whatever. I think she was in a city next to Botswana in South Africa. And she was just talking about what's happening there. And what's happening there, the women and people she was talking to, is a flourishing of music and performance and hip
Mm-hmm.
hop, and this is hip, and hairdos and clothes, and that's what they were talking about, and that's the thing that's going on in that city. That's the main thing that everybody has attention on, dancing and singing. That's the main part of that culture. So so that's a thing over there. Somewhere else is drug trafficking, and somewhere else is sports. In your lifetime, have you ever walked into a gym where children, mostly girls, are learning how to do gymnastics so that they can compete?
No, that's
You
like
never seen
totally
that?
that. Oh, that would wipe me out, man.
Well, it's amazing. These like
I would.
6-year-old
That's what I'm
girls,
saying. It would wipe me out.
6-year-old girls doing like on the parallel bars, or the, ups,
The beam. The
the
beam.
beam. Yeah, the beam is crazy, So that's it. That's what they're doing,
If you
you
get an
know.
opportunity, I'd send it to you, but I don't know where I put it. Put in 5-year-old Chinese girl does morning workout.
Yeah, okay.
This child, yeah, I mean, just to run across the room wiped me out. She ends up doing putting her chin down and then walking her body around 360 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
and I pray that she continues to, because there are the oldest woman that I've seen do gymnast work. And this was, wow, man, this is maybe 10 years ago, and she was 96. She was doing parallel bars, not uneven parallel bars, parallel bars. And this woman kicked butt. So she
Uh,
may still be up there too. I mean, this is when I was looking for things for my mom to do, who I'm reticent to talk about because
Twixt you, me, and the fence post, she'd still be here today if my head was on straight. But that's a longer story we don't get into. We'll have to
Yeah,
deal
so
with that
there's all
sometime.
kinds of places. So the thing is, where you're here or you're in New York, I don't even know what
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood you're in,
I'm
but
in Cold
there,
City in the Bronx. Freedom
okay.
Land.
So
When
there
you
is
hear Freedom Land.
whatever's going on when we visited some people in the Bronx. So, but whatever going on wherever
Yeah,
the
but there's the
environment
Bronx
you're
and then the
in,
Bronx. Yeah.
you find a place where you can get in a nest and you know get involved or and produce, and it's good. It's good enough till you get something better. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, looking around, like, in other words, you don't have a car, let's say, so you can't do delivery, but you can do,
Yes, you can.
okay, you can walk, you
You
can go on
borrow or rent.
you can borrow or rent a car and deliver. So you go to each market and you say, do you have a delivery system? Can I work here or whatever? Or you look up on the internet for Dash. A lot
Yeah.
of people do Dash, and they make money doing it.
Instacart, DoorDash.
Oh, I have a friend, a girl who's moved to Colorado, and that's what she does to make some pocket money. She does Dash with a car.
I think that's what my niece was doing
Yeah,
in Orange County.
so you do
Oh,
that and you see if it works out and if it covers the cost of the gas and whatever.
man.
And
These days and times, it can.
yeah, or you can be taxi or Uber or so you find something. I think you're absolutely
Hmm.
correct about your communication skills. And it's a real tedious job is cold calling from a boiling factory, right?
Been
Where
there,
you
done that, got the t-shirt.
and that's murder. You're calling up strangers. Hello, Mr. Brown. Do you know if you how your windows are? You want new windows or whatever the hell you're pushing? That's a
Right.
very tedious job because keep getting hanged up, hang up, hang up,
Not
hang
if
up.
you get into the customer
Well,
and
there you
figure out a
go.
way
But
that you can get the customer. Then
that
what you want to do is you want to get into the customer, and as you're pushing the stock, that's I used to get the calls about the stocks. While you're pushing the stock, that this is hot. Just come with us, try it out. You got 2 weeks. Don't worry about nothing. We'll send you the documents. We'll send you everything. Just sign and but you got $1 million net worth, right? No. Ooh. Well, that's not a problem yet.
let's
Oh
get you up to
man.
that. Let's get you up to that. So anyhow, if you did
So
that,
anyway, to get to the point is whatever your true business is, you then take that customer and now with AI and stuff, it may be a little bit more difficult. You make sure that you keep a line with that customer so that you can get back to them with your product
right? Well,
and
I
get them into your business.
when I get calls, right, as soon as
Yes.
somebody says, "How are you today?" I say goodbye, because they're reading off a script, they're reading off a script. But when I get a guy that I can talk to, even though
Yeah.
I'm not buying it, I'm not going for it, they want to
Right,
put it.
right, whatever.
I tell him, I called the guy back yesterday because we got cut off. I says, I want to tell you, you're good on the phone. You're easy to talk to. You're pleasant to talk to, and you're conversational. So, call me up in 6 months, keep my name on there. I like talking to you. And I make them, because I know how hard it is to get
Right,
rejected, 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 rejected. So
right.
that's a hard job. But here's another thing on the telephone business. When I call up and I say, listen, I didn't get my prescription yet. Can you help me, please? I've tried 3 times. Or I have to get an appointment and it has to be by Tuesday. Or, I want something administratively done at a clinic or a hospital or with a doctor. So when you get an administrative person there, and they're either helpful or they're not helpful. And it's great if they're helpful. And I say, well, yes, I'm going to take care of this, Mr. Aaron. Just give me a moment. Let me see. Okay, I spoke to Judy. She said she's going to do this. Just to have a live person
Right.
and that kind of a thing. Or there's also people trying to sell what you were talking about, the Medicare Advantage programs, with the free,
Yeah.
you go to the gym and everything.
The
But
check, man. You get the check. You get $1,200 a month.
for what? For doing that job?
Food. Oh, they call over the counter card.
Getting the card, $1,200 a month. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
That's in a
pretty good
Medicare,
as long as you don't get sick.
right?
Pretty good as long as you don't get sick. If you get sick, then you need that $1,200,
But
or
but
you don't get it
also,
in care.
but I'll tell you it's another thing. In wherever you live, within walking distance, there's a retirement community.
Uh-huh.
There's got to be four or five of them that you could get to in 15, 20 minutes or something. I don't know your neighborhood, but if you walk in there and say, "Well, I like
Oh,
to
our
work,"
city, the Bronx.
I
If,
like to work
hmm
with people. I on a voluntary thing, I once went to we used to go to retirement communities and do such songs and stuff to
Yeah,
perform for them. But they need people or they may need people. And if you keep
yeah,
going to each one, somebody's going to say, "You're just the guy I've been looking for."
right.
And then you're working, and there you go, and you get a free lunch there too. It's something. So that's the way to go, because then you're not even thinking about yourself anymore because you got the job. Then you don't like it, you leave. You go to another
Yeah.
place. In fact, that's the first thing you do after you work there for a week. You say, "Well, let me check out these other places. Maybe one's better than the next." But you have tremendous communication skills. And you're very affable. There's another guy who's like that, which, believe it or not, is Mike. Mike can talk. He's very, very affable.
He's
Mike,
an actor.
I know, but apart from that, he's
And he's
affable,
from the
friendly.
Bronx.
Huh?
He's from close to my section in the Bronx.
Okay, he's from the Bronx. So, but he's very friendly because we've spent time staying up late at night, him and my wife, and
Uh-huh.
me, and me too. He's not doing anything, my wife. So anyhow, but you're good. So that's a thing. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to train. You could be a manager of a dealership where they're selling cars and just handling the staff. Because you're intelligent and reliable, and you could say, "I'm doing management. I'm looking for a management position." You could sell cars, but that's kind of a hard job too, or sort of.
Nowadays, it's getting really bizarre with Carvana and the other ones
Oh, that
coming.
stuff. Yeah, it's automated, right? And Amazon said they're going to sell cars. So
And, people, you call up, and next thing you know, your car's gone and you got to check.
right.
So the
Well,
flow time is like.
yeah. So, but I mean, I'm just saying things like that.
Yeah,
Apart, I don't think you would enjoy being a waiter, because that's
not about a
very,
joy. I couldn't do it.
well, it's very transactional. It's sort of like, what do you want to eat? And they're bringing the food, and it's like that. And it's like moving food more than anything. It's not really a lot of interface with the clients, but that kind of stuff. And I think you would be, and then you meet people and you move up into
Right.
something else. But this is the game that's going on. It's a game that's going on, which is, who do you know, and do you know a guy who does this? Who do I get to do my taxes, or who do you know who can fix the plumbing? It's networking.
There you go. That's the magic word.
And that's valuable because it comes down to that. And also tutoring. What subject did you go to college, or do you know some academic subjects?
Dobie Gillis.
Dobie Gillis. No, that's
I
not
am a high school graduate.
okay. Just high school graduate. So, but still, you could do tutoring or
Good.
so, but that's working with kids. I think you're just. I think it could be just. I would say the retirement community.
Yep.
What do you guys need? I see
Teach them how to
people,
use their phones.
yeah, and taking them for a walk or taking them or doing something.
There's a city agency now that you can volunteer and they you do 45-minute calls to people who are shut in.
Ah, there you go. See that? That's a good opportunity for you. Look, you're doing that with me. You're having a 45-minute
Except
conversation with
except that unless I was on the California network, I'm not getting paid. I'm doing that as a volunteer.
over there. You're doing it as a volunteer. We'll
Right.
find a place where they're paying people because
And then
that's
that this is where the ethics comes in on this. I mean, I feel like really weird persons all shut up and they're dependent on me to provide them with quote unquote color for their life so that they will continue to exist. I got to pump them up, you
yeah,
know.
but just like any other profession,
Yeah,
you'll wind up with it if you were doing that. You'll
yeah.
wind up with a cheat sheet. And the cheat sheet will be, well, what was the best meal you ever had with other people or something,
Uh-huh.
questions to ask that will promote
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
pleasant memories or
I'm
something.
not I got that part. The part that I'm talking about is how do I then help them if they're interested in improving their lives, period. Getting them connected to other organizations so that they're not shut up, shut off,
Well,
cut out.
I
Use their
found
tools.
that there's community centers to have them here, and if you go
Uh-huh.
there, they have. I did go into the art meeting. It's every Friday, and they just people sit down and they draw or paint, and then they have a dance group, and they have a ping pong tables, and then they have a acting group and a karaoke group. So there are community centers
Yeah.
that do that kind of thing. So that's a thing that you can get a person to socialize. But you might talk to a person who's paralyzed, and you might have then you got to talk to them about, well, I'm going to give you a task. I want you to watch these three movies on Netflix and we're going to talk about them and you're going to join a movie club or
Mm-hmm.
something. You find out about these things. I didn't know this, but there's movie clubs and some of them are just done on the internet or that people watch, they agree to watch a show and then get together and talk about it.
Yeah, just like the book clubs. Yeah.
Yeah, like book clubs and so forth. But you like people.
No,
Yeah, sure you do.
no. Oh, you got the wrong dude, man.
Well, you can
I
pretend you like people.
no,
I
I don't
think,
pretend if I'm in the company of someone, especially someone who has any kind of knowledge. I'm gonna be right there because I'm gonna be sucking up some knowledge. But if it comes down to it, the reason that I haven't done more work to get out of this debt situation that I'm in is because I don't want to go through the steps, right? And it's not like it's a big deal in the context that somebody's got the money and they're not gonna feel it. They're gonna get good interest on it, meaning rather than 30%, they'll probably get 15 to 20%. And over time, then I get a chance to, play in the game again.
yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know where how you would get that unless it was a relative
No,
or
no,
or
they got
no.
you got lending tree, and you all you gotta do is come up with the right point score. I was on the verge of getting a $70,000 loan, which would have made my life so much easier at the time. Probably would have saved my mother's life. And I handed my finances over to someone who was going to do me a favor. They were going to file some back taxes because right now I didn't have to file taxes, so it didn't matter. And they were going to jack my credit score up and set up some trusts so I could do businesses, and it didn't work out. And suf- I ended up in debt, but I wasn't in like quote unquote serious debt. Right now, uh what's the is it the Oklahoma that's in Pearl Harbor on the bottom of Arizona? Yeah, I'm looking up at the whole of Arizona right now,
Well,
and
okay.
it's cool. It's cool because it's just a thought problem, right? Even if it goes on to something as, I mean, think about it. I could be in Gaza or Sudan, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's always
So I'm
something. That's
here, I'm
right.
talking to you on the phone.
Right.
I got options.
Yep.
Currently a guy just came in and brought me some food, out of the goodness of his heart. Most of which I can't. I mean, I'm not gonna eat unless I have to, but you know, I- I- but what I am sad about is my quote unquote family, who I think could really benefit from my intelligence. I haven't heard from them. I mean, you
Oh,
got to look at what happened to me last year, Ken. Last year, I went in the hospital. I came out of the hospital. My mom was like slipping away. She's a 103, so she needed some major adjustment in both
excuse me,
hormones.
excuse me. She's 103 years old.
She was.
All right, come on.
Come
What do
on,
you
what?
expect?
She
What do you mean she
with
could
with
still be
with
alive today?
with
She's
proper.
105. She's already way past
No, no, no. She died 103.
103. So
Yeah,
that's what do you want? You think she's going to live till 182? Come on.
she would have made 120 no problem
Yeah.
had I been willing to do what was necessary. I wasn't willing to do it. And she wasn't able to do it on her own. If she had had different guidance, um, well, let's move on from there. Okay, so mom drops dead, let's say June of 2024. By the way, if you're bored, you can go to YouTube and look at the funeral. She's at Abyssinian.org. Mom dropped dead. I think uh, I was in the hospital. No, I was here when she died. Um, and then somehow I ended up back in the hospital. Didn't make the funeral. That's a longer story. But that has to do with my philosophy. My philosophy is if I wasn't for you, I wasn't here for you when I could do something for you here. Ain't no sense in mourning you because you done moved on to a better place. And it is my true belief that she is definitely in a better place than she was when she was here. However, okay, so I end up back in the hospital. Mm, I got an 8,000 buck debt that I borrowed in order to bury my mom, and it's weird how it ended up on me because once again, the person who was supposed to be helping me with my stuff was supposed to be doing trust and stuff for my mother. But anyway, moving right along there, then somewhere, let me see, 24. This is 25, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around, let's say, this time last year, I just got out of the hospital. My intended for 30 years, we'd been together, I'd say like 75, something like that. And I was living in her apartment. She comes down to my mom's house. I'm laying on the bed.
Wait a minute, wait a
And
minute. Wait a minute. You introduce another person. Who is she?
Rose, my
Who's
intended. Rose is my
what?
intended. We'd been together since 1975, give or
Okay,
take.
that's your spouse or your female associate.
Yes. All right. So she comes in. She's furious. She's screaming at me. What are you doing? Next thing I know, Rose is on the floor. And we call the ambulance. She had the heart attack and she's gone.
Gone.
Within, that's it. Time.
How old was she?
Let me see. I'm 76, 77, 78, something like that.
Well, did she live a harsh life? In other words,
Early in
was
life.
that
No,
was that
she was actually just beginning last 10, 15 years. She was just beginning to live out the retirement. She retired from the phone company. She had a decent pension, which she blew through. And she was learning how to work the Social Security and the SNAP and a couple of other things. So she was going on trips. But she had a heart problem that, let's say, she wasn't using the Gary Null methods as much as I would be comfortable with, considering what her, and she'd just been given a clean bill of health maybe 2 months earlier, perfectly fine. And okay, so now she had a friend who she was taking care of. That friend lasted 2 weeks and she's dead. So all my quote unquote mothers on this side are dead.
the
You know?
females?
Yeah, they're all dead. And I take responsibility for mom. For Rose, I don't take responsibility for Rose. Rose did what she wanted to do, and she thought she was gonna get away, and she just got caught. Um, and then her friend Bonnie, she died of a broken heart, basically, because
What?
her
What?
best friend died. Because her best friend died.
So it's like Liza Minnelli. Was it Liza Minnelli? Or does somebody? No, 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 no.
No, Liza's
It
still
was
around.
no, no, not Liza Minnelli. This is the girl who was in Star Wars. Uh,
Oh, really? I know you're talking about. Her mother died.
Debbie Reynolds, I guess, was her mother.
Yeah, Debbie Reynolds was her mother. Yeah, right.
So her mother died, so then she died.
Either that or the other way around.
No, I think her mother went first, and
Yeah,
she
but
was
she
so
was on
distraught.
both of them on some heavy drugs, man.
Well, okay.
They were doing some serious stuff. Uh, I don't think it was Debbie Reynolds. I think it was the daughter who was doing electroshock therapy every couple of weeks.
All right.
So woof, that's
Well,
like
anyhow, so you had a similar thing of like three people kicking off within like 3 months.
right. And I lost the keys to the house. Well, first of all, they changed the locks to where all my belongings are, including the ashes of my father. This is
Was
like a
this
really
because
bizarre.
you were negligent on the rent or something?
No, I lost my keys between going in the hospital and out of the hospital.
Oh, oh, okay.
Somehow my keys, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because they changed the lock when they went to pick up the body.
Oh,
Because she had a home attendant, they went to
eh,
her home, and because they couldn't get in her home,
they had to change the lock.
no, they broke in,
Yeah.
and that's when they changed the lock.
Okay.
So
All
now
right.
they
Well, this
came
is
here.
shit. All I got to tell you is whatever your religious beliefs are,
Uh-huh.
I would not give good credit to who's ever writing the script for you.
No, man, this
This is
is.
hard, 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 hitting you hard.
Well, put it this way, it's been an interesting challenge because I still haven't gotten my health anywhere near where it needs to be. And the finances are like off the chart. I'm trying to keep my brother, well, I'm going to work with him because he's supposed to have secured the apartment already, and he still hasn't secured the apartment. So once I get him in a situation where he's somewhat stable and is able to maintain some kind of a decent life for himself, because he's got another story that needs to be written up somewhere, and you go, what? But yeah, so the idea is that all of this could be resolved to the positive in less than a year with the right capital, the right educational exposure, and the right execution. Ain't nothing down here that can't be fixed because ain't nothing down here that's new. I tell you what, give me one day of what it costs to operate the Gerald Ford, and watch how I change.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even understand some of the things that are going on, which is why I was hoping that someone would show up. One of the World War II boys would show up and explain how you send an aircraft carrier down into a situation to interdict drug boats. It financially doesn't make any sense, let alone anything else. It ain't the mission, right?
Yeah.
So why is it there? Even if you're
Uh,
going to invade Maduro and replace the government, it's a sloppy, expensive way to do it. With
uh,
everybody watching you?
yeah.
What are you thinking about? I think that's why the African American head of Southern Command got out before it got this rich, because they're getting ready to do some stuff that even on a bad day is a bad move. And who's paying for all that? You see, even though I'm not working, I'm still paying for all of that. Now, I'm not exactly clear how, because I'm not going to quote unquote a job every day. But if I was, and I'm going to suggest this once I get the phone cleared up and I, you know, start getting on BAI and what have you, tell everybody to stop the automatic transfer of capital to pay their taxes. If you want to use that money for something other than what the current federal government is using the money for, then don't give them the money. Make them do what they're doing now. Go to court to get it. And then make the court make you give it to them. Don't give them nothing. That's what they're doing. You've got a project, the tunnel project between New Jersey and New York. And that's not just to benefit New Jersey and New York. That's like the tunnel hasn't been those tunnels haven't been dealt with in over 130, 40 years. What's the point here? You need to update them so that they can at least move into the 20th century. And he says no. So people are working already, doing the job, and they got to stop because he doesn't like New York, or he doesn't like New York and New Jersey. once again, if you're going to make any progress in this particular period, and theoretically it's only 4 years, so I don't know what people are all totally upset about. In that 4 year period, what you want to do is you want to talk to the people who really get hurt and who are backing this individual who, if he stays sane enough, I would suggest he'll go for a third term. And he may actually get the nomination to do that. And the only thing that I can think of is that the people who are around him are benefiting from what he's doing. But he's definitely accumulating capital hand over fist. Did you hear about the BBC tentative
Yeah, yeah,
lawsuit?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, I totally agree that stitching those two pieces together may have been a less than wise idea, but $20 billion?
Right.
I don't think so. But what did he learn? He learned from Roy Cohn. Sue, sue, and when you have a chance, sue, sue, sue. Sounds like Johnny Cash, man. This guy's cashing in all over the place.
Yeah.
So I hope that what was the last one's name? Major or the youngest? The one who has a chance to become sane. Because Donald Jr. and the
You're
other
talking
one,
about Barron?
what's his name? Barron. Barron.
Barron.
Yeah, that's an
That's the tall
interesting
one. He's
name.
like 7 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe 6.5. I don't know, but he's very tall.
And what's he? He's in college now, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a superstar. But he's whatever.
I'll look it.
We've had these dynasties. It's amazing for a country that says it doesn't want to put up with monarchs. We had the Bushes, we had
Roosevelt.
the
Start with the
Roosevelts,
Roosevelts.
and then
Yeah.
we sort of almost had the Clintons.
Well,
And
actually, you got to start with the Adams. Adams.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well,
Uh,
early on, you could understand it, you know, because it's okay. But with like 320 million people, and the best they can do is gumshoe. What's her name?
well, at
Damn
least
it,
you didn't get the other Bush. What was that? Who was the governor of Florida? Was it Jeb?
the Santos. I don't know,
Jeb.
but
It
I'm
was
just saying you
Jeb.
got these. Oh, and you have various other, like monarchies, like nepotism, like
The senators that stay
no, no,
forever.
the guy who was the vice president under Bush, and then his daughter becomes,
Oh, Cheney.
Cheney and
Yeah.
his daughter, and it's sort of like so many times they elect a daughter or the wife or something. It's like crazy nepotism. What is the status that person? They were thinking about running Michelle Obama. She doesn't
Yep.
have the temperament or the background. And then they ran
I
kind of a
probably would
similar thing
disagree
with
with the second
Kamala
part.
Harris. Kamala Harris, because oh, we know where she is. I can see her. I can talk to her. Let's make her the presidential candidate. So it's kind of crazy. So Trump will probably have. He's
She didn't
looking
lose
at
by
having
that
his
much.
his family running on for different posts.
If she had thrown Joey under the bus, she wouldn't have lost.
Who?
Kamala Harris.
If they threw who? Oh, if she would have thrown John. No, well, that's another topic. I think she was on too many alternative drugs, to me. I made a video of her repetition saying, what we have today is because of what we sacrificed, what we abandoned yesterday. She kept saying that over and over and over and over
Uh,
again. And I was trying to find out if anybody knew what religious cult that was from. And what we have today is from what we abandoned yesterday. And she would just say that, and as if that answered anything. And the only thing that was, some guy tried to connect it to Marxism and some early communist pundits, because of the concept of, you take a system, you find what's wrong, you get rid of that, and then you have a new system and you do the same thing over and over again. You keep eliminating what's bad, and then you're moving closer and closer to an ideal scene, which is pretty much what the Marxist protocol is. So that kind of fits in with what we abandoned yesterday, gives us the opportunity to do what we're doing today. But the way she said it is if to say she's going to make a religious statement and that's going to resolve everything, and people should think that way. And most statements are just, you know, like I think it was Jesse Jackson, although it might have been Gandhi who said, like, no, I think it was Jesse Jackson. The problem with the problem with the needy can be solved by handling the people who are greedy, because greedy rhymes with needy. Just because it rhymes doesn't mean it's a valid concept. Or like, well, my mother told me. I say, well, I don't know your mother, so what? Whatever your mother said, that's fine. If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. All of those kind of like paradigms. You know, you got to find the paradigms you find the most workful. But anyhow, uh, that's a little thing off on Kamala Harris. But but I'm coming down to the thing of like, if you were in um, Colorado, Oklahoma, Utah, Texas, and you just woke up on a ranch with horses and cowboy hats and rodeos, you have to figure out how to survive in that environment, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you want to do. It's like, how do you survive in that environment? Because,
Right.
somehow you wound up in that environment, you know.
Well, that's
Oh,
what
I
they
have
say about.
my friends. Oh, I got an interesting thing. My friends, my son has a friend who went through very unusual careers, but he was eventually, I think he's currently working now on drug prevention. So he's a younger guy and he's helping people get off drugs for some agency of the city of the government, and so just you find out what's going on, and you look at it, and then here's the big secret, okay? I'm going to tell you the big secret about getting a job, okay? This comes from it's kind of a Scientology thing, okay?
All
And I
right.
got a job from this. I went to get a job. And they said, I'm sorry, Ken. After like a couple of interviews, they said, you're not interested. And I came back and I said, listen, I really want to work here. Just give me a job. I'll be the janitor. I don't care. I want to work here and I'll work my way up. Okay. So just because somebody says no, you don't stop. You go
No.
back and ask them again. You got to have persistence. You got to have, and they were so taken aback by the fact that I came back. And so, the broker who sent me there said, "Oh, you didn't get the job." So I said, "Well, I'm going to go talk to them." I didn't go back to the broker and tell him to talk to them. I went in and said, "Listen, I really like this place. This is the place I should be. I want to start working here. Let me put me in any position you want. I'll type letters or whatever, and I'll work my way up." And they gave me the job that I had applied for, which was programming. So that's the key thing. And the other key thing, which is not Scientology, but it's that you keep going until somebody wants you. You're looking for somebody who likes you. They want you. You don't want them. They want you. Somebody appreciates you. Like you said, somebody who appreciates you. And you can't demand that everybody does that, because it doesn't matter, because there are people you meet and some just like that, and some of them you can't stand just like that. and you just keep going until you hit it off with somebody. You know, I'm sure there would, same thing like with women, but this is like with job things. You go door to door, where within 5, 10, 2 minutes from where you live. But I think you do good, and I think would be a big asset to any retirement community because you could handle a variety of people. That's the other point. You're broad enough and intelligent enough that you don't need to have just easy cases to handle that are not a problem. You have a range. You don't have to handle everybody, but you can handle this guy that gets depressed and that guy who thinks he's on Mars and this other guy who thinks he's already dead and another guy who thinks he was King Tut. And you could handle a variety of people just with your presence and listening and talking to them. And tell me about that. What happened to the dog? Or what happened when, just like we were talking tonight. So I
Right.
think that, and you got them there, they are in the retirement home, and they're going to treat you good because you're going to be helpful. And you're going to be the guy that people go to when they don't know what to do. Say, that's it. Forget it, but you don't have to sell them socialism or anything. You just have to help them in their universe. Don't worry about what's wrong with the system. But I think you should take a look at the retirement communities. That's Where do you live in the Bronx? Let me take a
Northeast
look. I'm
Bronx.
just curious. North Bronx, right? Wait a
So
second.
what you want to put in a co-op city?
Co-op City?
Yeah.
It sounds like the projects or something.
It is the largest cooperative in the world.
Okay, one second. Co-op City in the Bronx.
There it is. Pelham Bay, City Island.
Oh, City Island. I know that. We went
Well,
there because of a movie. There was a movie called City Island with I just tough on the names. A really good
was it a
actor.
documentary?
No, 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 no. It was just a fun story, like a family story.
Uh-huh.
Andy Garcia was in it. It's called City
Really?
Island. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was really fun.
What
And
year was that? I'll have to look it up.
I'll tell you right now. One second.
But
Si-
anyway,
1 second. I'm almost there. 2009.
wow.
It's a fun movie. He's a good actor. He's fun to watch, put it that way. Okay, so Co-op
He's got
City.
a great daddy, that's why.
Oh, who's that? It's not
Martin Sheen.
who?
Martin Sheen.
No, 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 no. Andy Garcia. His father's not Martin Sheen. You're talking about
That man.
Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen.
I'm
And
almost sure
and
Andy.
Andy
I think he's
Garcia.
the other one.
Andy Garcia is like Cuban or something. Okay, wait a
Yeah.
second.
So what do you think Martin Sheen is?
Martin Sheen's a Catholic Irish. 1 second.
No,
We're
you got the Catholic part right, but you ain't got
nearby
crazy.
retirement communities. Is that the best word? Okay. Oh, it went all over the country. Jesus Christ. Why did it do that?
Oh,
Oh, I don't
Lord,
need this.
Lord.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me see. Okay, let me just do this in a regular search.
Uh, where am I going with this?
Oh, I got it. Wait a minute. Here we go. Okay, here's a list. Local senior housing community, 55 plus community
Oh,
lists.
I know where the scene. I know where the rehabilitation senior citizen homes are around here.
Yeah. So that's it. Just go there, do one a day or two a day, and say, hey, what are you guys up to? Are you looking for an excellent person who's got skills similar to what's
I'd
his
rather
name?
do the phone call thing.
You'd rather do the phone call thing? Okay.
Oh yeah, much
Well,
easier.
that you got to look up on the internet. Where do I get a job as a phone call solicitor or a phone call answering service? One or the other or both.
What am I looking for here?
Yeah, the advantage to the phone call answering service is I know that you can do that from home because I know when I talk to people, I ask, where are you? And they're not necessarily in the same city. You could be in Utah and handling business in Texas.
Most customer service situations are handled from home.
Yeah, and most of those big boiler rooms are in the middle of the country so that they can
I don't
go.
know. They got. I was getting calls from
Oh
out on
yeah,
Long Island
okay. But
mostly.
you can also get them from
Oh yeah, you can get them
Philippines.
from anywhere.
So okay, so that's good. So you can look for that. But there's 55 plus communities. That's what they call them.
Uh-huh.
That's the bud word. But that's living communities. It's
You
not.
Co-op
That's
City is
retirement. That's not institutions. This is like
Co-op City is the largest naturally occurring retirement community in the
yeah.
world. Did you see where it is?
Yes, I did. We'll move back to it. There it is.
So you got New Rochelle on the north.
Oh no, I didn't. Wait a minute. Co-op City in the Bronx. There it is. Now I got it. Co-op City in the Bronx. New York Botanical Gardens, East Bronx, North Bronx, New York City Health and Hospital, Jacoby, Morris Park,
Yep.
Wakefield, Van Cortlandt Park. I've been there. Everybody's been there.
No, that's way on the other side.
Oh, what? So it's east of that? It's near Pelham Bay Park.
Yeah.
But it's not on across that
Oh, he was
river. There's a
born in
little,
Havana. Get
huh?
down. He was born 3 years before the revolution.
Who?
Andy Garcia.
What revolution? Oh,
The
in
Cuban
Cuba?
Revolution.
Yeah. What about it?
I said he was born in 1956.
Yeah.
Children, height, parents. I.E. Crow,
Okay.
big time. Amelia Mendez Garcia and Papi is Rene Garcia Nunez. I don't understand with Cubans. You use what you think is their last name, but it's not their last name. They always have another name at the end of the name. So
Yeah.
his father's name is Rene. What does it say?
Well, they keep the
Rene.
name. I think what they do is they take the names from both sides. Then the mother
No,
wants to
no, no. It's
have,
deeper than that. It's deeper than that. Because look at Castro, right? Everybody knows him as Fidel Castro, right?
yeah.
No, look it up.
Oh, I don't care. To me, it's a joke.
No,
They
no.
got,
The reason I'm asking you to look it up is A, it doesn't mean anything if it comes from me. But more important than that is you'll see the contradiction. His last name is Ruiz. Andres Arturo Garcia Mendez
oh, yeah,
is
yeah,
an
yeah.
American
Fidel
actor.
Alejandro Garcia's Ruz. So what?
So why do we know him as Fidel Castro
That's
when
because
his last name is Ruiz?
it's the easiest because Fidel Castro is much more lyrical.
Oh, stop. Come
No,
on, give
really.
me a
Fidel
break.
Castro it got punch. Fidel Ruiz is The Ruiz doesn't have any impact. Castro's got that harsh Castro.
Ruiz. Come
Nah,
on.
nah. I don't know.
So
And
anyway, maybe that's his mother's name. I don't know. Let me look this up. I'm looking up the parents here. So Andy Garcia is Andres Arturo Garcia Mendez.
yeah, Mendez. So he has to pick a theatrical name for his movie career. So he narrows it down to Andy Garcia.
You can make it up if you want to.
And then his big thing was in The Godfather. I think the second one. Because the reason
Really?
it was yes, because he played the part. There was a guy I can't. I'm losing the names. So he played a character called Sonny, one of the father's kids, Sonny, and
That
he
ain't what
got
I remember.
yeah. He had two sons. One was Al Pacino, and the other was Sonny, the father. The Godfather.
Yeah, and that was played by what's his name? Why am I even trying to do this through my head? Hold on.
Yeah. The guy that played him, okay? There was a scene where they talked about him having a big dick, and it was a scene where he had sex with a girl during the wedding. He went in a room with the girl. She got
Andy
pregnant.
Garcia?
No,
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Sonny, his son,
Right.
the Godfather's son, Sonny, had sex with a woman.
Right. I'm trying to remember what his name is.
The actor,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, those names, okay. So, and that son was a bastard because they weren't married. So, but he grew up and he became friendly with the Godfather and he became part of the mafia. Okay. So
He
in
got
the
made.
second scene, but in the second scene, the second movie, because in the
Uh
first movie he was born. In the second movie, he was a character, Sonny. I mean, not Sonny. I forget the name of the character. But his famous scene is he's riding on a horse, pretending to be a mounted police officer, and he shoots somebody. Bang! But that was his big break in show business
oh, okay.
in the Godfather movie, and he's very good. He's a good actor. He's just. It's not so much he's a good actor.
How about
He's an
Khan?
he's an
Give
interest.
James
Yeah,
Khan?
that's the guy's name, Khan. Right.
I'm still
Uh,
trying to type it out here.
Khan, Cann. But Andy Garcia, more than acting, is an interesting person. He's like fun. It's like the other guy. There's another guy like that who played Zorro, kind of similar, Hispanic. Now I can't remember the
Yeah,
names. It's too
James
bad.
Khan.
James Caan, right? You want to see a good movie? It's James Caan. It's the best movie is called Rollerball.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that was another old one. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an amazing movie. It foretold the future. That the big corporations or the people behind them just want to control the public and keep them amused with circus, gladiators and circus, and give them things to satisfy their uh, desire to sublimate and be part of something via entertainment. Rollerball.
Man.
It's great. I
And
love
then
the
there's
my the favorite my the favorite line in Rollerball was the guy says, since the corporate wars, there hasn't been any more conflict, and everybody has food, and everybody has a place to live, and everybody has a job of one sort or another. And all we ever asked for was
Everything.
never disagree with the corporation.
There you go.
That's great, great, very
Because it's true.
president, very, that's the society we live in. There's some people who are running everything, whether they're right or wrong, and what's ever going on, and they're manipulating the public. The fucking television news is ridiculous. It's just so colored and opinionated, and they just don't cover crap. They only cover what's salacious or what they're told to do. Anyhow, but I don't know. I don't want to. Snow doesn't do any use to complain about it. It's just like, you
That's
know,
why you have WBAI and WPF.
yeah, they're just squawk. They're not really changing anything. So you duck and dive and take advantage, step to the side, hop on. You know what? Did you see the movie Dune?
No, no, I've been meaning to, and I have never done it.
Well, this the story is this. I'll ruin the movie for you a little bit. There's a
No, you
climactic
can't.
scene. All right. Well, you got to see the movie. But the thing is,
No, go ahead and tell me the story. You can't ruin the movie for me.
oh, I won't ruin the movie. Now, I'm not going to tell you the story. It's just this scene. There's an aspect of the story that the desert is filled with these giant worms that are
Right.
enormous. They're like 10 stories high. Okay. And
Yeah.
they scare the shit out of everything. They eat anything. Okay. So the hero, the natives know how to ride the worms. So they can travel all over the desert because they can get on the back of the worm and ride the worms. And the way they do that is they have like a stick with a hook on it.
Uh-huh.
And if they jump up and the hook grabs one of the circular elements of the worm and pulls it back
Uh-huh.
so that the sand would get into it, the worm turns so that it's on the top so it doesn't get sand under the shell. And then you can use that to steer the worm. So that's a great example. It's a wonderful example of taking advantage of some overwhelming factor in the environment and using it to your advantage. It's that kind of a thing. That's what people do when they're playing the market. They don't really give a shit about the companies. They're just looking for what's going up and what's going down. What's the difference? Why? That's all horseshit. They're playing it because they're figuring out that they're figuring out even by trying to look at the graphs that what is the mathematics of it, not the principle of what the product is. They may talk about that sometimes, but they're looking to what's going up and what's going down, and what do I want to get on what's going up and off of what's going down, or go short on what's going down. So that's the thing you got to do in the environment is take advantage of what's going on and put up with it or take advantage of it. Don't suffer under it. Suffering is there's plenty of people to suffer for it. Don't worry. There's no shortage of that. People going and crying about everything. There's always everybody's got a handkerchief. You're going to cry and complain. But you take advantage of what's going on, like the retirement communities. The baby boomers is one of the largest parts of the society. Okay,
Yep.
maybe numerically. So they're all going to be in retirement. The retirement communities are going to, and I don't mean retirement communities like $1.5 million houses in a closed gated society. I'm talking about assisted living.
Right.
It's going to be overloaded. They're going to need more employees. So that's the thing. So you could take advantage of that. Maybe there's going to be a big thing. I don't know. Nobody talks about it. Funeral parlors, because the baby boomers are going to kick off. So they want to be burned or buried. You want to be burned? Or you want to be buried? That's funny.
I'm
You know
going
what's
to
really
knock.
surprising? It's surprising that nobody's had the balls to get stuffed. from a taxidermist.
I
You
don't know if
know,
that's legal. Is that legal?
well, if you're like a billionaire and you got a big estate, you say, I want to be taxidermied and put me in the back where, the backyard or someplace.
No, I'm saying, is that legal?
I don't, I don't
Because
care.
they just made earth burial legal in New York.
What kind of thing, burial legal? What?
Earth burial. You don't
Oh,
need a
earth burial.
statue.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Just
So,
return it to the ground.
right, right. I know, but it would be a ball to have somebody do the taxidermy. That'd be fun. Think of what comedians would do, the postures that they would have be they wouldn't be standing there like a statue. They'd be like, goofing off. That'd be funny.
And what I'm saying is that, people should think about making it legal.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I
So
gotta go. It's we're
rather than having a statue,
yeah.
you'd have the taxidermy. And if you did
Oh
it
yeah,
right,
yeah,
you can have
yeah,
it in
yeah,
the home.
yeah. If you can do it with a walrus or a bear or something, why can't you do it with a human? You know.
My position.
Okay. All right. So, Daryl, let's end it here because
That's it.
that's
Thank
it.
you, Tim.
I've really enjoyed this.
Appreciate
But
you.
okay, I like talking with you all the time. Okay. So goodbye, and I'll talk to you next week.
If I get a chance, I'll send you those
Send me whatever you want.
World War II stuff.
Yeah,
And
sure.
you can tell me whether it's real or if it's Memorex.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace.